Hello, welcome back to the Codependent Knitters. This is episode 66, and I'm here today with my fill-in co-host, my sister MaryAnn. I'm Dawn, and I'm coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario.
And I'm MaryAnn, and I'm coming to you from Oakbank, Manitoba.
So Lisa's away on vacation in Scotland for quite a while. So she said to get MaryAnn to fill in and do an episode. So here we are. So welcome back. I want to do a quick admin thing first. In the last episode, we had asked people to comment using the word house. And Natalie Sheldon, Remembrances Pottery, very kindly gave us a pattern to give away. So we used a random comment picker. And the winner is Charlene Richards. And I'll read out her comment. I'll put it on the screen. Charlene said, "Oh, I can't wait for the field sweater to come out as well. I have my yarn all ready to go. Natalie's gingerbread house pattern is adorable. She does amazing color work. I love all the sweaters you guys are making. They're going to be beautiful. Have a wonderful visit together and enjoy your summer." So thanks, Charlene. Thanks, everyone, for commenting. Prior to, like, when we recorded our last episode, I was going to be visiting with Lisa, which I did. And then the field sweater was about to come out, and it did. So that's, I have that in my whips pile. Yeah. That was my admin thing. What have you been up to? Any yarny things?
Well, just like knitting. I haven't really been to like any shows or festivals or anything like that. Yeah, just kind of knitting, going up to the lake a couple of times, and yeah, just hanging out. It's been a really hot start to the summer. It's cooled off a little bit lately, so that's nice, right? You can pull out a few more woolly things in the evening and sit outside then. So yeah, that's just good. Summer has been progressing along quickly.
Speaking of festivals and things, the Manitoba Fibre Festival is coming up September 9th.
Yeah.
And I'm going with MaryAnn.
Yay. You get to come back home.
I get to come back to Winnipeg. So I'll be there kind of for the weekend and a few days to visit. But that's really exciting. So I won't be going to Kitchener this year. I'm not sure if Lisa's going, but I'm going to be going to Manitoba instead.
Well, you can always pack Lisa in your bag with you.
Yeah. Oh, she'd probably like that.
Yeah. Maybe another year. I know they're in Scotland, so maybe another year.
Yeah. I'm excited because it's going to be a lot of new to me, like vendors, seeing things in person. I mean, vendors I follow and I'm familiar with, but there'll be a lot that I've never seen their stuff in person. So
that'll be really great because I'm sure that there's some new dyers that maybe have started since you left.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for sure. See all of that. So yeah, it's a good festival. Lots of different vendors there, and I'll be happy to go with somebody this year.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So probably we'll go Saturday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you're in Manitoba and you're going or nearby and you're going to the Manitoba Fibre Festival, we'll probably be going Saturday morning, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's held at the Assiniboine Downs. So if you are in Manitoba and you know a little bit about Winnipeg, then Assiniboine Downs, it's a really good festival. It's a day trip. You pop in the day, really anywhere in southern Manitoba. It might take you 2 to 3 hours to get to Winnipeg, depending on which end of the province that you're in. So yeah, come on down.
I'm really excited about that. When I went to visit Lisa, Adrian and I went, and we stopped at True North Yarns because I needed knitting needles for a project I was casting on because I couldn't find mine and the size I needed. And I actually pre-ordered them to pick up. And then I came out with a big bag of yarn. So
of course,
it happens. But I saw this hanging on the wall. It is a colorway by Malabrigo. That is exact. It's called Ursula.
Oh, so nice.
So I think it's a nod to the villain in The Little Mermaid. Her name's Ursula and she wears purple and she's got, So It is Malabriga Worsted, which is a 1-ply superwash merino worsted weight. So it's called worsted. And I've knit a shawl with worsted before and loved it. So I'm really, this is just, I bought a sweater quantity. It's just going to be like a sweatshirty kind of sweater because of all the variegation. Who knows what it's going to look like, but I don't really care because I love all the colors in it.
Yeah, so nice.
Isn't that neat? And there's even little bits of gold flecks.
Gold, yeah.
So I bought enough.
Okay, so you mentioned Adrian's name, and like, okay, that was that long ago, but only the last month. Adrian came and saw me.
Right.
So yeah, so she came and stayed with me for a couple of days, and I took her to Wolseley Wool, and her dad went to university at the University of Manitoba, I guess back in the 60s. So we toured around there, and I'd never been through the university to the extent that we did. I said to her, I think we toured every parking lot possible at the University of Manitoba because I had only been to the sports complex there. So it was nice. Yeah, it was great to have her here. So she got to see me. She got to see you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. That was in July.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also got some new stash. I don't have a ton of stash to show, but I will show this. I ordered yarn from Yarn Cafe Creations. She had a little sale, and I have had my eye on a colorway of hers called Gothic Blue. She has a series like of Gothic colors, and they're dark, and they're, depending on the base, they can look a little different, but they've got like a blackness. You know what I mean? Like a darkness to them. Yeah. I don't know how she does that, but anyway, so I ordered Gothic Blue.
Oh, really pretty.
Oh, here's her label. Her labels are really cute. It's like a coffee cup sleeve, and then she puts these little snaps on them.
Yeah.
So Gothic Blue, and I ordered the Cafe au lait fingering, and that is her 100% superwash Polworth wool base. So I've never knit with Polworth before. It's nice. So it's not the same feel as a merino, but it's definitely wearable. And this is the fingering. So there are 437 yards per 100 grams. And yeah, I got enough to make a sweater with this.
Good.
I haven't decided what yet. It's a little, it's a really neat, her Gothic colors are really neat. So I haven't decided yet what I want to make. Something with like texture, or probably either cables, or like the, when they use the twisted stitches to make a design. I love that look.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, like not multiple stitch cables, but where you just like knit through the back loop or slip one in one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, and it came in this adorable little bag. So I have a nice little cotton muslin bag.
Good.
Yeah. So that was exciting. I've been wanting to order for that color for a long time. So I went to the Thoughtful Artisan's soft opening. So Anne Bedard is the owner of the Thoughtful Artisan, which, if you haven't heard of her, it was a mobile yarn truck. Anne has opened a bricks and mortar store in Woodstock, and it's just a cute little shop. It's tiny, but she's got a lot in there, and she has a little classroom. So she does a lot of classes. She's a big crocheter, and she does Tunisian crochet, and she's released some patterns. So she's doing a lot of classes, and she had a soft opening. So I went with a couple friends from London and St. Thomas, and it was just fabulous. And I picked up a few souvenirs from there. So I actually was wearing, funny, I don't know, maybe it was the mood that day. I was wearing my Alive and Kicking sweater, which is a light pink, and some beige, like sand colored jeans. And so while I was shopping, this caught my eye, which is kind of a peachy, corally pink, very blush pink. This is a tweed DK. It's by the Loving Path yarn, and the color is peony. And I don't like tweed. Like I'm never drawn to tweed. I see them and they're beautiful, but I just think but it was the color. And then hanging next to it was this sort of taupe color. So I realized after, it's like pretty close to the combo I was wearing.
Yeah.
So I actually got 2 of the pink and 1 of the taupe. I was going to buy more taupe, and actually, so I'd have enough to do a whole sweater quantity where this could be a contrast color and this would be the main. But the skeins looked a little different. So I'd rather wait and either buy them, you know, somewhere else. Yeah. Or we were thinking that I could do it with a dark mane. Yes. And I have Berroco Remix in the dark charcoal color. Mm-hmm. And I think that would, because it has a tweedy vibe, right?
It does.
Yeah. So those, I picked up those, and then this Malabrigo.
That's really pretty.
Nearby. But again, like roses.
Yeah.
Weird. So I was in a mood, I guess.
That was your vibe for the day.
That was my vibe. So I picked those up from Ann's shop. And yeah, we just had a good time. And congratulations, Ann, on the opening of your store. She is having the grand opening is in September. So give her a follow. She's at The Thoughtful Artisan, and she'll have more details about that. Yeah. Those are my only adventures. Other than the usual Saturday. I've been doing it for years, going to the bridge and knitting, like since before COVID. Yeah. It just is a happy place for me. And there's a group of knitters that meet up there, or we go to the coffee shop if it's bad weather, which we've had to do a few times. It's kind of annoying when you have only so many Saturdays in the summer, right? Where you have good enough weather, and then we've had some rainy, thunderstormy days. So, yeah. But we get together and knit, and that's always fun.
Yeah, those days are fun because I do go with the Norwood Naughty Knitters. In the summertime, we go to St. Vital Park, and it's good. We're there from 1 to 4. So if you're in Winnipeg and you want to go meet some knitters, come on there. And then once September starts, I'm not sure of the exact date yet, but then we'll be moving back to the Norwood Community Center. And again, Sunday afternoons from 1 to 4. Anybody's welcome. Knitters, crocheters, weavers, spinners, whatever your crafty is.
If they meet on the 10th when I'm there visiting you, that would be fun. I'd love to go.
Yeah.
So
definitely that's part of the weekend plan.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I talked about new stash. Do you have new stash?
Well, no, not really, because the stash I usually get is just for the project that I'm going to work on.
Right.
So when Adrian was here, we did go to Wolseley Wool, like I said, and that's in Winnipeg. And I picked up some cotton yarn for a cardigan, which we can talk about when we get to finished objects. So that was kind of my purchase.
You buy it and start knitting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, some of the other stuff that I'm finishing or using right now, I purchased last year when I was at Woolstock. Okay. And I am just finally now getting around to getting it done. But I had a plan for each one. So that's how I roll.
Well, then we should start talking about FOs. And speaking of that, are you wearing a new FO?
Yes.
Okay, you go first. What are you wearing?
All right. So this is the Whitmoor cardigan. Mm-hmm. I'll just stand up a little bit. So
I can put pictures in.
Nice detail.
Pretty.
I didn't do any of the ribbing as called for in the pattern because I just wanted a simple rolled neck. And then on the front band, I just did, you won't be able to see it too well. I just did an I-cord down the front. Mm-hmm. And I used Holst ties, and I used the color Fuschia. So the ties is the wool silk blend. Mm-hmm. And I did three-quarter length sleeve. So just below the elbow. And then I did, like I said, just did the I-cord on the finish. And then I picked up, I'll show you it again. But I picked up these closures from Amazon, and there's 4 of them that come in a pack. 2 of them, and these ones unhook.
Oh, okay.
And then I have, so it came 2 similar to that, and then 2 are, they're called retro cardigan closures or clips. So
those are beautiful. 1
gold, 1 silver, and then the 2 small ones for the cardigans. They're bronzy, kind of a bronze finished on them. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. And
that's gorgeous.
And it whipped up the Whitmoor whipped up in no time at all.
I finished Vilvaere. I don't know if you can see the bottom hem. No, and I don't want to. That was a boob shot. And I don't want to. I don't want to flash anyone. But basically, it's a drop shoulder. V-neck, obviously you can see, and then the bottom hem and the cuff are done with this horizontal braid. you can
Such a
see
nice
there.
detail.
Yeah. And then you can either just end it there, or you can do a flip side, do a facing.
I love that.
Yeah. So I did it with just a single strand of the pink. I dropped the gray.
Yeah.
And so that's just a little flashing under the cuff. And I did a few extra rows so that you'd
Shine.
see a little bit on the edge when it folds in. And you just whip stitch it to where the braid is. So the bottom cuff is exactly the same as this. And it's a V-neck, and I actually don't think I love the neck. So I did it. There's a choice of doing it with I-cord or doing it where you knit a few stocking stitch rows. I don't know how well you can see that. And then it was curling when I started to bind off. So I went back and did a purl round.
Okay.
And then I bound off in just one strand of pink. So I did the purl round with 2 strands of pink. Okay. And did the bind off with just 1 strand of pink. It's okay. I'm going to leave it for a bit, but I'm thinking maybe I should have just knit 1 round and then did the bind off. But then I didn't want it too big. But I feel like it's a very wide V-neck, but it's not too low. It's just right.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a big sweatshirty,
comfy,
very warm, especially today. I may have to change. I may have to do a wardrobe change, but it's 2 layers, right? It's it's 1 strand of Leo and Roxy, pink flamenco, and 1 strand of their basics pencil point held together. Yeah. So I used the gray to marl just to tone it down a bit, because a whole sweater in this neon pink would have been pretty loud for me.
Well, it looks great. The gray with it looks really good. And then with the pink kind of coming through, if you wanted to fold the cuff up, that really adds a nice feature to the sweater.
Yeah. Just that little rim of pink. I like that.
Yeah, very nice.
Little accent. So I liked it. I'm glad I did that on the neck. I think
it looks great on the neck there. Yeah, and I think it needed it. Like the pink showing through there, it just represents the other details.
It's lots of ease, probably more than I need, but I don't care. It's just super big and comfy and loose and warm.
Yeah, and warm.
Yeah.
For those really cold Southern Ontario winters, right?
Yeah. We do keep our house pretty cold in the winter, so it'll probably have to be colder on days when I want to wear this. So that's Vilvaere. What other FOs do you have?
So I finished, when I was on your guest showing the last time, I was working on a test knit, and I had finished it. So you're going to put in a picture of that. It's called the Hot Toddy Sock. It's by Mary Rowick. It is now live on Ravelry. And it's just a really adorable sock. There's some color work at the top where it's got the coffee cup and then a row of steam above it. And then you switch to your main color for the rest of the sock. And I did a toe. Her pattern has it all in one color once you start the plain all the way down, like after the color work. So I thought, I've got some extra yarn, so I'm going to do the toe in the alternate color. Mm-hmm. So I did 1 pair of those and gave them to my brother. And then with the leftovers, I did a 2nd pair in the opposite coloring. So then, but I did a shorty. So I just left out the row of steam, and I did a shorty sock for my sister-in-law. So when I went and saw them down at the lake, they got gifted some socks, and they fit them really well. So that was good. So that's my other finished object that I did, as far as I was working on the last time and finished those socks.
That's neat. So they have his and hers coffee sock.
Yeah.
Love it.
And they love their coffee.
Good. That's a good idea. Okay.
I should mention though too, with the yarn that I used on that, it's a local Winnipeg dyer to me. It's Cloud9 Fibre Works. Daria has some really beautiful colors, and the 2 colors that I used was the blood orange, which is more like that kind of like a burnt reddish orange color, and then Pixel Garden, which had some really pretty. So the base is more of a cream color, and then it has a whole bunch of speckly beautiful colors in it. So it actually matched really nice. And hers is 80% merino. superwash merino, and 20% nylon. So it's a really nice yarn. So if you're ever wanting to try out a new sock yarn, get a hold of Cloud9 Fiberworks.
Is she vending at the Fibre Festival?
I believe so. I haven't seen her for the last maybe month because I know that she had been going out to some other festivals in Saskatchewan and different things. So I believe she is.
You have more than me, so present another FO.
Okay, all right. So I will start then with my Felix cardigan that I did by Amy Chrisoffers. And this is when Adrian was here, I got the yarn.
That's pretty.
So again, I just did the contrasting in black. And then I didn't do any buttonholes because I just wanted it open. And then this is one of those closures again.
Mm-hmm.
And I did 3/4 length sleeve with the contrast at the bottom, and then contrast, sorry if you can see, at the bottom hem as well with the black. And then I just picked up along here, and I think I did 2 rows of just knit one direction, purl the other direction, and then bound off. So just to give it that very classic beige and black cardigan look. So this is the Berroco modern cotton, color beige and black. So that again was a really fast, quick knit. And washer and dryer. Yeah. Just throw it in, and it's a very, very, very nice cardigan.
Yeah, and being a commercial dye, you likely you shouldn't have to worry about color run with the black and the beige. Like, it should be fine. Yeah. No, that was a really nice cardigan. A worsted weight, so it went by very quickly. So if you're looking for a nice, quick, easy cardigan, that's a really nice one to do. And again, with length of sleeve or body length, you can do whatever you wanted. So I did this one slightly more cropped than what I would normally do because of the cardigan. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love it. I'll keep that one in to maybe do another one day in maybe like a winter wool or something. Yeah, awesome. Well, I finished finally my Tits Up Socks. That's a pattern by Nancy Wheeler. The reference to the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel show on Prime. And I'm putting this behind because you can see the light coming through. There's bird cutouts on my Songbird yarn and fiber sock blockers. So I'll just put some paper behind it. But it's a really cute pattern. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. And so there's this one, like a section here that runs down one side of center, and then the exact same thing on the other side of center. Okay. So down the middle of the foot, there's 2 rows of these little cabled pattern. I did it in just a natural because I want to have more just solid colored socks. I have a lot of very colorful socks. So yeah, I think it's just, I don't even know which yarn this is. I had a couple skeins of undyed yarn that I had gotten from, I think I got some from Heather Timber Yarns. I don't know. I've gotten them from a couple, or, picked some up at festivals. So this is just a dyed skein of natural yarn. Yeah. And I did a little bit longer leg for me because I really wanted to have more of this pattern. Yeah. And then if I'm wearing it with some pants or something, when you sit down and your pants kind of go up a little bit at the ankle. Yeah. It's nice to not have that bare ankle, especially if I don't shave my legs.
Winter warmth.
So yeah, those are done. Yay!
Yeah, that's a really nice pattern.
And she has donated us some patterns for giveaways as well. So we will be giving away one of her patterns at the end of our current make-along, which I didn't even talk about. So we have a make-along going on right now in our new to me technique. And the current theme until the end of August is lace. So anything with, technically this would count. Sure. Well, actually, there's no yarn overs, but maybe this doesn't count. But anything with some sort of a lacy design as part of your finished object, you can enter that. What else have you got? I know you have more.
All right. So I did a black ranunculus. This one started off. Okay. So first of all, the yarn that I'm using is by Burton Alpacas. They're out of Brandon, Manitoba. And I got a black from them back in January, and it has a silver stellina through it. So I cast it on just before we went to Cabo in February, thinking it'll be a shawl. It'll be a great shawl. So I started it, did a little bit on it, came home, thought, no, it doesn't need to be a shawl. So ripped it out, and then I cast on to do a ranunculus, and then I stopped because I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to have enough because I only had 2 skeins. So then when did I pick this up again? In July. I thought, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and finish it and see how far I get. So I did a cropped, short-sleeved ranunculus. So I just put it with the white shirt so you can kind of see.
Nice.
And I just did right after you separate for the sleeve or the body to the sleeve. I just did about an inch of twisted rib there. So that's just a little short sleeve, and then the body is about 9 inches
from the underarm.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if the stellina is probably not showing up, but it's just got a really nice little stellina fleck through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that
Love
was
it.
nice. And I had just I didn't even weigh it, but I had a very small bit left. So I just kind of kept going basically each half round at the bottom. Go, yeah, I think I can finish this half. And then it was time to cast off.
Those little wee tiny bits are good to hang on to save, because if you ever get a hole or a snag that you have to fix,
yes,
then you've got the same yarn, right?
Yeah. Well, and I contacted Burton Alpaca because I wanted to know, first of all, if they had any more. And she said she went through, because they sell a lot of knitted projects as well. So she had contacted all of her knitters and nobody had anything left. So she was just going to see if anybody had a skein of it left, and she would recall it and then send it my way. But I said to her, that's fine. We'll wait till the next time you come out with it. So everything is at the mill already or planned for this year. So she won't have any of the black with the stellina this year, but she says probably for 2024. So that's nice. I can always go back if I wanted to make it longer or make the sleeves longer or just knit a whole new one. Right. The options are out there. So yeah, I'm really actually quite happy the way that finished off.
Yeah. It looks great with the long button down white shirt underneath it.
Yeah. So I think that took me like 3 days because there's nothing to it. Yeah. And the yoke went through in, I think 2 days. So it's not full days, like 2 evenings of knitting once I picked up. And the only thing that I know that I did wrong in it is I used the smaller needles for the neckline. I cast on with the smaller needles, and I should have cast on with the larger needles. So it's a little bit snug to get it over the head, but once it's on, it's fine. So you just have to make sure your earrings are all there by the time you're finished taking it on and off.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else in the FO pile?
I've got one more finished object, but I'm going to change a little bit on it, but it is finished and I have more in it. And this is the Pampas tee by Samantha Guerin. Let me make sure I get the front here.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah. So it's just a short sleeve and just regular length. I did a little bit of a high-low hem, but it's really not showing up great, but it's a really pretty pattern on there. And then the yarn that I used was Concept by Katia, the Louvre, which has a stellina in it. And so what I'm going to do with this one is the neckline is quite wide. So you're supposed to pick it up and then do an I-cord bind off. So I am going to do that. At first I thought, no, I just like it just with that just had a very small rolled hem there. Yeah. But I thought, nope, I'm going to finish it off. So that was it. And that was a fairly quick knit too. But this yarn is very slippery. So if you're going to be using it, probably would be better on wood needles. I don't have wood needles, so I just have my Chow Goose. So it was a little bit slippery, but you manage that as you go. The yarn is 96% viscose, 3% polyester, and 1% nylon. So again, you can throw it in the washing machine, throw it in the dryer, it'll be fine. So yeah, so I have decided that I am going to just fix the neckline just to kind of hold it in a little bit more.
Yeah. It'll just give it a more finished, structured look. But
yeah, and just close it in a little bit more too.
Yeah,
because it's very, very drapey. But yeah, so that was a fast knit.
Speaking of wooden needles, so if you have fairly new a wooden tip set or wooden fixed in either the Licca or the Knitter's Pride, they have quite a smooth finish, even though they're made of wood. Okay. So they can still be a little slippery, although they're better than the stainless steel. But clover, and you can buy the clover, I think, at Michael's. And a lot of yarn shops carry the clover bamboo tips. They're not rough, but they're not that really slick wooden tip. So they're one of my favorites, the clover. When I need a wooden tip for exactly that, for a slippery fiber. Yeah. They're also great for DPNs, because DPNs, like, I'm a looser knitter, so DPNs can kind of just fall out. Sometimes. So they're nice for that, because they're just a little bit grippier. So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Don't you also have a pair of socks, or are they your whips?
They're a faux. No, they're a half object. They're a hoe.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's move on then and talk about things that are in progress or half done.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll start then. I've got a half object done. So this is just a vanilla sock. It's by Songbird Fibers. The yarn is Songbird Fibers. It is the superwash merino nylon, her sock base, and this is the European Starling.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, really, really pretty. Greens and purple and a little bit of kind of like a whitish kind of color. And I did the Dutch heel, which is like a square heel. And yeah, super simple, 2x2 ribbing at the top, and then just your normal, what is it called? The toe.
Toe?
just the toe. So it's not a rounded toe, just where you decrease on
every second row.
Seam.
Yeah.
So this is the yarn.
That's so pretty.
And I got the cuff done.
Nice.
So this is my lunchtime at work knitting.
When you do the 2x2, do you do the knit stitches through the back loop? Do you do twisted 2x2 or just straight?
No. Yeah. On this pair, I just did normal.
Yeah. I like the 2x2s, just regular knit purl. But 1x1, I like the twisted. I have a sock here. I just like the look of it, but I have a sock here. I've shown these before, but I did it on this cuff, just the 1x1.
Oh, yes.
Twisted. And I like it on a lot of things, but yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I have 2 sweater shirt projects that I'm working on right now. Okay, so let's talk about the field sweater, which I have in this Christmas bag. How appropriate. We were knitting at the bridge, and my friend Heather said, oh, I see you broke out your Christmas bag. And I said, well, it was empty. It was sitting there empty, and I needed a project bag. But it's a really cute bag. It's these little Christmas cats.
That's cute.
And this is a bag by My Needle Crafts, who is Cheryl from St. Mary's, and she does a lot of the shows in Southwestern Ontario. So she has really well-made bags, and I love. They're kind of like a little bit of a heavier, like almost not canvas, but that that cotton duck type. Oh, yeah, really adorable fabric. So I bought that a couple years ago. I just loved it. So I started my field sweater. So the field sweater came out it's by Camilla Vad. There's commentary going on about it because of the lack of larger sizes. So I am lucky that the largest size she released will work for me. I actually am using Coast. Yes, Holst Garn Coast held double in the color olive. It's a gray green, like a really light silvery green. And my gauge is a little smaller than the pattern gauge. So I'm close enough though to the pattern gauge that after the design in the yoke, I'm going to add in some extra increases to get my intended ease. I'm close enough, right? I only need to add a few more inches. So depending on your size and your comfort level with knitting math and doing that, you may be able to knit to just add some more increases after the design in the yoke. Because we don't have bigger necks and shoulders, right? We have bigger bust. So really you don't need the increases up there.
Yeah.
You need it further down. So, and just regarding that, I hope she does find a way to release the pattern in some larger sizes because it's beautiful and it is a really, it's a nice knit. I mean, it's every fourth round has cables with a lot of stitches. So I'm having to use a cable needle. I can't cable without, and that's really slows me down. But it's still a really nice knit. So I'll just show you up close the texture here. She calls these grains, each of these little on each side. So that's a grain, that's a grain. And then there's a larger grain, I think. Like, so I'm coming up to where it's gonna, there's a new stitch I have to introduce.
Right.
Yeah. So I can appreciate that it would be difficult to work in increases in parts of this design. I'm not a sweater designer, but I can understand it would be harder to do increases and you know, without making the larger sizes look quite a bit different than the smaller sizes. I mean, that's what may have to happen. I don't know, but it's not as simple when you have this kind of texture, cables, stuff going on, even color work. It's not as simple as just adding more, like, you know,
but
adding 10% more stitches.
Yeah, as far as the design goes, if you look at the Ranunculus, that's all the same. And then they have the increases of the raglan after that. Yeah. So, I mean, depending on somebody's knowledge of knitting and everything, that's something that you could actually refer to and say, okay, the largest I need a little bit more. Okay, this is where I could add it, you know, because sometimes people even need a little bit more on the sleeve.
In the sleeves.
Than there. So you could.
Yeah. And the nice thing with being a circular yoke, that when you add more stitches around, you're adding them to the sleeve area also. Yes. Where, you know, so it's doable, but it would be nice if the pattern was provided for people that don't have that know-how or don't want to fiddle with it, right?
Yes.
So hopefully she'll produce more sizing and make it more accessible for people. I will talk about a couple of little modifications I've done. So it had quite a lot of ribbing on the neck, and I didn't want the neckline to be quite that much ribbing. So I made it shorter. And now I can't remember. I'll put all the notes in my Ravelry project right now. They're in my I have a little journal where I keep it handy. So I did 10 rounds instead of, I can't remember. It was probably to a measurement. And I did the twisted rib. I had started this with regular rib and I didn't like it. It looked really sloppy. And I don't know if it's just because of 2 strands held double. I don't know what was going on, but it looked terrible. Like probably the worst ribbing I've ever knit. So that is not the pattern's fault. It's me. So anyway, I restarted it with a twisted rib and I'm very happy with it. Yeah, that was the other modification I did, your first increase round is the round right following the rib. And she had, I think it was picking up like a lifted increase where you knit through the back loop. Which I didn't like the look of. So I love lifted increases. It's the first increase I ever learned from my mom and I love it. And so I did that and it's practically invisible. Like I have a hard time finding, I can find it there. So basically on mine, I think I had to do an increase every 7 stitches. So with a 1x1 rib, sometimes it ends up on a knit, sometimes it ends up on a purl. So I would just do it on a knit stitch. So if it was, you know, if it fell on the knit stitch, I would pick up from the row below the left leg. Yeah. If it fell on a purl stitch, I would pick up the right leg of the next knit stitch, right? Because it just looks nicer. So honestly, like even I sent it to a friend who was asking what I did. And I had to circle where the increases were because they're very difficult to see. But I like the transition here. It's just a nice smooth. There's just a couple rounds before you start this grain stitch. Yeah. Yeah. So I like it a lot better. Yeah. So I've done sort of a little section and I think I have to go to the next complex stitch. But I love it. Like, I think it's
Well,
good.
and the yarn that you chose gives it a really good definition.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually have, speaking of the yarn, I ordered a cone of this, and then I was going to do it with an ecru for the color, for the grains.
Yeah.
So it would have been like this kind of color, right? And then gone into the green. And I had started that, and then I just thought, no, I want it all one color. So I changed my mind.
Yeah.
But I'd ordered a cone to make sure I had enough. Amazing value for the coast.
Yes.
And they also have, they're not always available, but on the Holst Garn website, they have color packs, which are mill ends of whatever they happen to have.
Oh.
And it's 200 grams. All the little bits are the same dye lot.
Oh, nice.
So it's a one color bag, 200 grams. They tell you what color, they tell you what dye lot, but everything in here is the same dye lot.
Okay.
So it might just be, they're winding a cake or they're winding a cone and they've got some extra, whatever it may be. And they're all different sizes. But I actually started with these and I've been using these. So I haven't had to wind anything off the cone because it's so easy to bury ends in the back of this, right? There's so much going on. So you can't, it's easy. You can't tell. So I thought I'm going to use up those and not have to wind off my cone until later.
Yeah.
And my cone is the same dye lot. So when it arrived, I checked and so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it had been a different dye lot, I probably would have blended in one strand off the cone with one strand of these until I was done the grain and the grain stitches, and then just did that. So yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
So that's my field sweater by Camilla Vad, which I love, love, love. Yeah. So I hope that, if anyone is close to her largest size and you want more information about what I did to do the math for my size, I mean, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm not going to promise it's going to work or it's going to fit, but it should. So just message me privately and I'll help you out as best I can with what you need to do for increases. Because there is actually, I forget how many rows, over 20 rows, I think, of just stocking stitch. There might be some increases in there, but before you separate from the sleeves. So you've got lots of room there.
You've got room to
add some increases. Yeah. Okay, MaryAnn, I am dying. So I'm going to do a wardrobe change here and I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, I'm back. Well, the good thing is now maybe I can hold up my sweater and show that bottom hem. There's the bottom hem.
That looks really good.
Yeah. Okay. Back to knitting. So that was my field sweater. Nice. What have you got on your needles?
Well, I'll show you the yarn first. So this is a combination that I'm doing, Holst Garn Tides. And this was gifted to me by Adrian. It's Leo and Roxy. It's their sock 80/20 sock, and it is called Shark Bark, which is the colors in there.
I love it.
Very nice. And I am doing a color work sweater.
Oh, MaryAnn.
Isn't that nice? So this is the Solvi by Jen Steingass. And her pattern has it just all with 2 colors. Mm-hmm. And she had another sweater that I wanted to do that had the 3 colors in it, but it was worsted weight. And this is, of course, fingering. So I thought, okay, well, then I'll just mimic what she did in the other sweater. And it is so pretty.
That is striking.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope there's a flash freeze in September 9th so that you can wear that to the Fibre.
Yes.
Or in October when you come to the wool stock.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it'll definitely be ready for then.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is her sleeve is just, there's no color work on the sleeve, but it's a 12 stitch repeat. So I'm sure that I can maneuver it enough that I can do, and then that way I'll introduce, because the sleeve will be white, and then I'll reintroduce the blue and then end with the orange.
Nice.
So the orange is called Spice, and then the white is called Cream. And yeah.
So that's Holst Garn.
Yep, Holst Garn Tides.
Tides.
Yeah.
So the tides is their wool and silk.
Wool and silk, yes.
And then the coast, I didn't mention, it's wool and cotton.
Okay.
It's close to half. So it's a wool and
Okay.
cotton blend. Yeah.
Yeah. And their tides is 70% wool, 30% silk.
Nice.
And yeah, it's really nice. I ordered 5 of these cones just before Christmas last year. So my daughter Stephanie got the April cardigan out of it, and I held it with brushed alpaca, drops brushed alpaca, and then Kendra's beatnik ripped sweater is in a green as well. So yeah, I've got lots of leftover stuff that I can do it. And then the white one, the cream, I did the Salty Air Tea.
That's it.
Yeah, the Salty Air Tea by Samantha Guerin as well. So I did that one long sleeved as well. So yeah, these cones go a long way, especially if you hold them single strand, which I am on these. So it's a little bit thinner than what the shark bark is, but it works fine. I've had no issues with that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I got that yoke. I got it split this past week, and then the next sweater I'm going to show, I got the yoke split this week as well. So I normally don't do 2 sweaters at a time, but you know, I am.
Go ahead and show the next sweater.
Okay, so the next one is called, let me get my card. This one is called the Wilfreda. It's by Wrench Rolled, I think how it's pronounced. So here it is.
Oh.
So isn't that, sorry, you can see the cabling through here.
Yeah. This is on my wish list. Like, I want to knit this eventually as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice.
So as always, we'll put all the names, yarns in the notes down below this episode. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I used for this, and this yarn I got last year at Woolstock. This is, it's blowing up. I'll just read it to you. It's Sweet Paprika, Mesa de Voce, Mesa de Voce. Sorry, I don't speak Italian. It is 100% superwash merino in the red, and then I held it with the Titicaca from Holst.
I love it.
So because this red has kind of like 2 tones of reds in it, and it matches really well with this. So when it's all together, a slight marl, but just more.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and super soft. Very, very nice. A very fast knit. Similar to the Ranunculus with that yoke. It goes by really, really quickly. And yeah, I'm so happy with it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
very nice. And this one is on 6mm needles.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a little bit bigger. And when I was working on the Solby, it's a 3.75. So, you know, you're working from small skinny needles, and all of a sudden you go to the big ones. It's kind of a nice change off here and there. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll grab my next whip, which is right here. I showed this, I had it started in the last episode. I'm knitting the Suri shirt by Caidree. And the front and back of the neck and shoulders are identical. So I'm still working on the body, but I'll just spread it out like that so you can see the yarn.
That's pretty.
It is a little bit lighter at top because I had a lighter skein, and then I just started helical knitting. So it's nice because it's very gradual. It's not a sudden stripe in the change.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually, when I had to introduce another new skein, I actually have 3 balls going on. I'm helical knitting in 2 different spots, kind of on each opposite sides of the sweater. Because the next skein looked like it might be slightly darker again. So instead of having a noticeable demarc, I did that. So that's the beautiful thing about helical knitting. You can just, you can do as many skeins as you want if you need to. So I need to make it longer. It's nowhere near being done, but that's the armpit. So
yeah.
And I decided to put a little fun detail down the side. So even if a pattern doesn't call for it, I like doing just a purl stitch right in the center of the armpit down the side. Yeah. And it just gives a little bit of almost a faux seam look. Well, this time I thought I'm going to have a little fun. So instead I used 4 stitches in the center. So 2 from each side of the center line. And I'm doing a cable. So I do a purl and then a 1x1 cable.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, every 4th row I cable. So there's a purl on either side of it. And I did that under each armpit. So it's just a little something. It's a very basic t-shirt. There's not a lot going on for design. So this will just be something a little subtle down the side.
Yeah. And the neckline, is it round?
It is round.
And you pick up and add to it?
It's huge. Like, yeah, you pick up and knit a lot of ribbing. So like, look how big this neckline is. So yeah, it's got quite a lot of ribbing around the neckline. And I'll probably do a 1x1 rib because I just like it. Yeah. And then there's a bit of a sleeve. These armholes are really massive. So the sleeve has, I think you knit a bit, and then there's quite a wide band of ribbing as well, which I don't know how that'll look, if it'll look weird, like it'll be too tight. I may keep going and do these longer or do 3/4.
Yeah, because then you can do decreases in there too.
Yeah, but it has a really big armhole. So it's straight to here, and then it's kind of increases down. So what's interesting, if anyone wants to watch, Isolde Teague started some YouTube videos, and she has one where she talks about raglan increases and the challenges with sizing up for larger sizes. So it's really interesting to get an understanding of what designers have to go through, or what they should go through to take that into account, so that otherwise you'd have, and she talks about if you just kept going at the same rate, like, okay, not like, you know, whatever, let's say a medium, the armpit would end up here because that's where the bust hits the width it needs. But then if you keep going, she said, you can end up with like armholes that are way down, right? Yeah. So she talks about sort of what calculations she did and how she's adjusting for that, so that the larger sizes don't have disproportionate other measurements to get the bust. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, like, even with the field sweater, it's a little more complicated than just adding, you know, X% more stitches because you need X% more bust. It's trickier than that. Yeah. So I don't know what these armholes are gonna be like, but I think on a short sleeve they might be a bit big. So that's why I thought, well, I'll make them a little longer. I think I have plenty of yarn. I should have plenty of yarn. Yeah. So it's really fun. I like it. I love this color. Oh yeah. So the yarn is Loving Path, and it is her MerLin. It's a single ply fingering. It's a merino linen. It's 10% superwash merino and no, it's not. It's 90% superwash merino and 10% linen. So in this color, it's lighter color with the variegation. It's kind of hard to see the linen content. Every now and then I get a real stiff piece of the plant fiber. So I've been picking that out, but I love it. And I think I said before that I would actually love to try knitting with something with a little more linen than this. Oh, yeah. Like 90% merino, 10% linen. You don't quite notice the linen in the feel. So, or in the look, but that maybe just be the color. So it's beautiful though. And the color name is Ahead by a Century. It's a nod to the Tragically Hip, of course. Oh. Yeah. So it's a pale, it's like a gray with purplish blue, kind of a cornflower color. And there are some little bit of gold speckles in there. Depending on the light, it reads more purple than blue. When I bring it back here, it definitely looks blue. So it's really pretty. Good. I'm loving that. Yeah. What else?
That's all I have on the go.
Really?
I'm just like now planning like what's next.
Okay.
Right. That's
what is next.
Well, I don't know exactly yet. So I have some Holst Garn in a light olive color, and then I've got a is that the brushed alpaca? I think it's a brushed alpaca in the same coordinating color. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with that one. I was thinking maybe doing another ranunculus with that, or a love note with that, or even the field sweater. I haven't I haven't decided yet, but it'll be a yoked, some sort of a yoked sweater. It'll be long sleeves because I have lots of yarn for that. This one did come up. I'll show you. This is the leaf. It's by the Knit Stitch. I think her stuff is on sale right now too.
Oh.
So it's, sorry, let me see if I can shade it.
Got reflection.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
There. Yeah, sorry for the reflection. So that is one that's in my favorites. And then the other one, I know I showed you this, and I know you don't like baubles.
I don't.
But this is fun.
That's a lot of baubles.
That's a lot of baubles. I thought that would just be such a fun sweater. And like, I love alpaca. So I'm thinking that would be really good in a worsted alpaca. Yeah, it would just be like a fun, cozy winter.
It looks like a wear figure skating sweater. Like wear to the skating rink, right?
Yeah.
To go skating.
Yeah.
Throw it over some jeans and
Yeah. So yeah, that one, it was just sort of that one caught my eye and I really liked it. So that one, I'm not even going to begin to say what this, okay, I'm going to try. Jernus Ludgenser.
oh, it's all one word. Yeah, okay, we'll just put that in the notes.
Okay.
Good try.
Yeah.
A for effort.
By Sigrid Marie Blom. B-L-O-M. Anyways. And it does come in English, so that's good. English and Norwegian. So we'll see what kind of yarn I can find.
Yeah. I have my 2 whips now to finish. And they're both they're going to take a little while. They're not close to being done. And then I also want to finish my little oysters, but it's so warm still right now that I'm not, motivated to do that one. But the t-shirt, if I do make it a t-shirt, the Suri shirt will be good to wear for the fall. And then I have, of course, a ton of new, want to cast it on right away. So the sweater that you're knitting, the Wilfreda, love that. There's some socks called Grannies in a Row socks, and on the Grocery Girls, Tracy knit them for Jody. So they've got the cuff and then just a little row of little mini granny squares.
Yeah.
And then the rest you can do stripy or solid or whatever you want. And I think they're just adorable.
Yeah.
They're just so cute. Something different. So those are cute.
I have a small crochet project that I'm wanting to do. One of my lady friends from knitting, she has the right yarn for me, or thread, I don't know. But anyway, so I have a pair of white ripped jeans. And the knees have ripped out a little bit more, and they've gotten a little bit bigger, more frayed. So I thought I wanted to do a granny, some sort of a granny square patch that would go on the inside of that. So she has, I think it's it might be a beige yarn that has like a gold stellina through it, or an off-white with something like that. So I haven't seen it yet. So next time I go to knitting, she said she would bring it. And so I thought, oh, that'd be perfect in behind there, because there's still good jeans, but I just want them to tidy them up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Crochet. I don't know which design yet.
Yeah.
But it'll be some sort of a flower-ish round design or something like that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. And putting it on the inside too. So
yeah.
it doesn't look like a patch. It looks like you're wearing something.
Right. Just like there's something underneath there. Yeah.
Like the tights that we want to make, right? Knitted tights.
I do. Maybe to go with the bobbled sweater.
Yeah.
Well, when I was skating, like back then, the leg warmers were the big thing. And so those of us that had moms that knit would knit us beige leg warmers, and they would go right from the top of your thigh all the way down to over top of your boot. So like your ankle. So it was like this one great big long stocking. Of course, you had 2 of them, but like they were so good because they kept your legs nice and warm. And of course, if you're skating and it's, cold out, the rinks are much warmer now than what we used to skate in. And even for falling and stuff, it protected your legs and stuff from getting too wet, because the wool took the brunt of everything. So yeah, Bring back the leg warmer.
There you go. I have a couple, now I probably won't be able to show them on the screen, but if you want to look them up, there's a sweater called the Melody sweater. It's just gorgeous. It's got like that sort of 1x1 rib, a little bit of cabling across the top.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do this without it.
Oh yeah, that's really pretty.
And then it's along the bottom hem, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
That one could go with my green.
Yeah, I really like that. And it calls for DK. I do have a lot of DK, and I've got some, I think it's DK from Twin Oaks Fibre, Twin Oaks Farms. A little bit of a woollier wool. So that's one that caught my eye in addition to the Wilfreda. Yeah. And where's the other one? True Nature. It's by Stephanie Lotven, Telly Bean Knits.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, and I'm just really drawn to that style of texture work around the yoke. And circular yokes I'm finding fit me the best. Okay. Like even the drop sleeve, I like it, but there's just so much extra fabric on the sides with all the ease, right?
Yes.
So this one, the True Nature, calls for fingering. And that might be nice to use with my Gothic Blue from Yarn Cafe Creations. So that's an idea for that yarn.
Yeah.
It'll just really show that texture beautifully. And I also really think the Pixel Pop Hat that Jody Brown just released, it's super cute. It calls for DK and you need like a main and then some minis. But I'm wondering about doing it just in fingering. You just need more stitches, like, you know, the right stitch repeat number and a few extra stitches. So, I mean, there's always new patterns that come out and derail all my plans.
Well, yes. So. And this is another one that I found. It's called Inez Yusa Yoke by Anne Rigord.
Oh, I might have that favorited too.
Yeah,
that looks familiar.
A nice round yoke. That's really pretty.
Yes, I do have that favorited. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really pretty. So, that calls for, she held lace and light fingering. She might have held mohair with that. So what's the gauge? 27 stitches. You could do that in a fingering.
Yeah. Yeah, light fingering, lace and light
fingering. 27 stitches. All these fine gauge.
I know. But it is on a 4.5 millimeter needle.
Well, so if I did fingering on a 4.5, I could probably catch fish in it. So I'd have to probably go down. I'd have to check and see for the gauge. Maybe I could probably do a 4.
I do like round yokes as well.
I think that's all that I had for today. We'll get Lisa back. Actually, hang on. Before I say we'll get Lisa back, let me just message her and see if we could pull her in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi guys. How's it going?
Hi, traveler.
Good.
Hey. So yeah, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. I'm busy, but I'm tired. Tomorrow we're going to a tartan weaver in Guerin. So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Nice. But right now we're in a farm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They've got horses, chickens, and dogs. A couple of dogs come and visit us every day. It's kind of cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah. So how'd the podcast go? What's that?
We are going to be in it. Show us your view. Just move slowly so we don't get dizzy. Oh, that's so pretty.
Beautiful.
Nice.
How's the weather been?
It's been really good. Really, really good weather. We do get rainy days, but that's Scotland, right? Like there's always rain. So yeah. There's a field further back that's got a couple horses in that we've been out to visit and whatnot. Oh, nice. So yeah. Cool. Yeah, so it's been good. It's been fun, relaxing. I honestly can say I have not got a lot of knitting done. But yeah.
There's been too much of haggis and barungruivi.
Right? A lot of eating. And a lot of walking. So yeah, a lot of
Have
eating, a
you-
lot of walking. But
Have
no,
you gone to a yarn shop?
I did. I went to a place called the Woolly Brew, and it's in Pittenween, which is a small little town. And I did buy some stuff, so I can show you that when I come back.
Yeah.
Because I have it all packed, and I got some really cool hat patterns that are actually iconic buildings in the different cities. I got Glasgow,
Oh.
Edinburgh, Aberdeen, and two others I can't remember off the top of my head. Sterling is one, and East Nuke or something. So yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
So
That
it's
would
there.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was really kind of. I saw one and I'm like, oh, I really like that one. What's four more? So, but that's pretty much the only one we went to. There was a couple of shops in Edinburgh, but Edinburgh was so busy, so we just kind of adventured out and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
But
Good.
Oh,
I
that's
will be home soon.
All right.
Yeah. So.
It'll be fun to see and hear all about your vacation when you get back.
Oh, come on, be honest. You're going to be glad that I'm not texting you at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, your time anymore. It always freaks me out when one of you answer. Like, why are you up?
Because you woke us up.
No, I didn't. Did I?
No.
Okay, because then I feel really bad. But yeah, so yeah, but I should probably get going.
Okay.
We're just finishing dinner.
All right.
And,
Well, there is a Scottish saying that says "haste ye back," which means return back with speed.
Right?
Yeah.
I will. I'll see you guys soon. Miss you.
Okay. Miss you too.
Bye.
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 Oh, that was fun.
That's great.
Hey, I thought of something else I wanted to share. It's a little hack.
Okay.
And so I if I fold sweaters, they get a crease in them, right?
Yeah.
So I had this idea. I bought pool noodles. I cut them to fit on my hanger.
Yeah.
And then I cut just a slit down the one side and slipped it onto my hanger.
Perfect.
And then I can hang a sweater on it so it's rounded. So
Very
the only
nice.
thing is I have to do something it keeps rolling and I'm gonna like lose my sweater. But that's a clever idea. So then I
That's
can
very
hang
clever.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
So yeah, so I'd share that. Went to Dollarama, got some pool noodles, and I'll probably
Good.
get 3 for sure out of each pool noodle. Maybe 4, maybe 3. I don't know. But this is gonna roll right off. But yeah, so now I can have a way to not have big creases in those sweaters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the really fine ones. The bigger, bulkier sweaters don't really do that. I don't
No,
think
because they stay fluffier, that they don't squish
Yeah.
down as much. And then if you pile a whole bunch of the skinnier ones together, then they all
Yeah.
smush. But, yeah.
MaryAnn, thanks for coming back and
Oh,
co-hosting
anytime.
with me. It was a lot of
That was
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so excited and looking forward to the Manitoba Fibre Festival.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be
And then a month after that, then I come to your place.
That's right. Man, we're gonna have a busy fall.
It is. Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, as usual, stick around. We usually have a little slideshow of our viewers' FOs. And if you would like to have us show your FO, there's a thread in our Ravelry group called Show Your FO, and you just have to pop it in there. If you can put a little bit of text just below or before the picture and tell us what the pattern is or whatever. It's just easier editing for me. I can include that in the screen when I pop the picture in. And we should actually quickly talk about our other make-alongs. We have our new to me technique, which we talked about, and our year-long sweater make-along. There is a knit-along going on until the end of August with Unit Toronto, and it's for the Florencia sweater design. And they asked us if we wanted to participate, or if we wanted to offer a code for the pattern for our viewers. So I've put that in a Ravelry thread, and I'm just gonna go grab it right now. So the Florencia sweater, which is by Claudia Quintanilla, you can get that pattern for 50% off using the discount code FLOR, FLOR. So there's a thread in our Ravelry group where I've noted that. If you're working on it already, I hope that you can get it finished for their knit along. And if you do work on it, even if you don't finish it for theirs, you can enter it in our year-long sweater make-along, and you get a double entry. So if you've knit this Florencia anytime this year, then you get 2 entries in that sweater make-along. And also Knits and Peace is doing a knit along as well for that, and you can enter it in their knit along. So lots going on. Yeah, that's all. So thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching if you're new. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you did, a thumbs up below is really appreciated. And we'll see you next time, sometime in September. Sometime in September when hopefully we'll have Lisa back. And yeah. Right? Okay, so take care, everyone.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.